So their legal guardians, this process needs to be explained to their legal guardians every year at their ISP meeting, which your QDDP can do. But if the QDDP does not do that at the meeting, then of course their case manager will explain it to at the meeting. And that's basically that if they have a grievance against the agency, against a staff member, anything like that, then they can take that to that staff member, or they can put it in writing at that point in time. They do not feel that such and such is being done fairly. Okay, within that time period, they have 24 hours to give that grievance to the Q or the staff or whomever. At that point, they need to identify what the problem is, the nature of the grievance, and what they hope the outcome of that will be within that 24-hour time frame. Just like as an employee, you have that same right to do that. Then they will meet with them, with the interdisciplinary team, and they will try to come up with a solution to that problem. If it isn't resolved at that point in time to their expectations, then that can be taken through to the executive director to then look at. If the executive director then has a 48-hour time frame to come up with a resolution to that particular problem, same as an employee has. If the problem is not resolved at that point in time, the executive director has 48 hours to try to resolve the problem with that person. If after that 48-hour time frame, the executive director cannot do that, then a formal hearing can be held. At that point in time, as the individuals have the right, they can then, like we said earlier, they can contact ADAP, or they can get legal counseling on that. In their particular case, any legal cost and all will be incurred by the family or by that individual. As far as ADAP goes, usually there's not legal cost involved. But then they can have what's called a formal hearing that will be held 10 days to 15 days after that request is turned in. The executive director, once there's a hearing, has 10 days then to act on whatever legal counsel says that they need to do. Any grievances or anything that are brought up and legal counsel sought will automatically go to a human rights committee. And there's human rights committees all over Tuscaloosa. AWA has one, several different people. I'm not sure exactly who Ahill uses as their human rights committee. You know who all use some. Well, I know who y'all use. You use ours. Because Tammy is your behavioral therapist, therefore they come through AAWAs. They'll go through the Human Rights Committee within 10 working days, and self-advocacy services will then pick up. By this point in time, you've got a state advocate involved. That's usually Glenda Lee or somebody like that. State advocacy has picked up and they're involved in the situation. And all that will then get kicked back to your executive director at the advice of ADAP, Human Rights, state advocates and everything, and a final decision will be made on what will happen. And then they will be resolved, and the president of your board and everybody will have a resolution that will come back then to the individual and their family in writing. Same process for employees, except you don't have the luxury of ADAP. Okay? Now, we're going to really quickly talk about